Hello there. Now, I hate to say this, but time is not on our side, nor is it on the side of those politicians who wish to save our country. Right now, the UK is going down the hardline Marxist Islamist U-bend, and the UK population can only look on with dismay as the country they love is swallowed up by woke-backed terrorists. To say Britain is broken is only the half of it. We need urgency and the acceptance that nothing can ever be perfect. And many people out there are desperate for a coming together of the centre-right to bring sanity back to the country. They need a real offering, and soon. So what do you think, Richard? Where do you think we're going to go with all of this?
Well, Jeff, we've been sitting around all weekend waiting for Rupert Lowe to make an announcement. Not that he said he was going to make an announcement, but he said he was going to have a think on things regarding potentially a new political party or some offering. We don't actually know. It was too vague. Yet a video was released saying that there was no room for another political party. So what do you read into that? Oh, well, in that case, is he going to join Advance UK? Maybe. But we're just sitting around waiting for this, Jeff. And time is short. People need something right now because they're desperate. And, okay, granted, the finer details might be, they might be ironing those things out at the moment in the background with Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib, hopefully, and there's going to be some kind of coming together, and with Nick Tenconi and a few others, really, really unifying the right of this country. And yet, so far, nothing. And people, I've been speaking to a few friends of ours, Jeff, and we're all just peed off. We're all peed. We've all had enough. It's like, come on, get on with it. Get on with it. We've had, how much longer do we have to wait? What if we're all assuming that there's going to be a general election in 2029. Well, what if it's a bit sooner than that? Quite a bit sooner. We need to get the ducks need to be brought out and put in row now, not later. Things are a little bit desperate in this country, I would say. Yeah. Morale in this country is so bloody low. We were talking earlier, Jeff. Trump is on about now offering sanctuary and asylum for asylum seekers who are basically for Jews in Britain. If Jews in Britain are, well, if it gets any worse, well, maybe not necessarily if it gets any worse. He's basically potentially going to put the offer out very soon that if you're Jewish, you can leave Britain because it's too bad a place for you to live because it's anti-Semitic and it is run by anti-Semites. It is run by satanic elites. For goodness sake. Jeff, over to you, mate.
Yeah, and on that one particular point, that'll go down like a lead balloon with the likes of Keir Starmer, who's trying to pretend that this country isn't turning into an anti-Semitic cesspit, driving Jews out of the country. To have someone like Donald Trump turning around and saying, yes, it is, I'm offering British Jews a sanctuary in the US, well, it's going to go down like, well, yeah, but that's where we're going. If they're not going back, if they're not going to Israel, and anyone who's Jewish can go and start a new life in Israel if they want to. If they want to do that, they can do that, or they can go to America. But I'll tell you what will happen if that happens. They'll have loads of people who queue up and pretend to be Jews so they can get to America. The only trouble is they'll have to drop their trousers to prove it.
I'll pass on that one, actually. I think I'll get through on that. Read into that what you will, ladies and gentlemen. But
and all the while...
I'll be changing my name to whatever, Goldstein. I don't care. If it gets me out of Britain right now, it's looking quite an attractive prospect. No, I'm not joking. I'm going to stay for the fight for as long as I can.
Yeah. Only because you haven't got a passport.
There is that.
But there you go. Nor have I. Yes. And then we have the likes of Lisa Nandy, who's the Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport, spouting rubbish about the next government, probably Reform UK, is going to bring in a Nazi regime. And what they're therefore doing is pushing their Marxist Islamist policies as hard as they can, making it even worse for the rest of us. They're playing scorched earth policy. You wait till they bring that definition in, that Islamophobia definition. Don't think they've given up on that. It is becoming painfully obvious that the ordinary, heavily taxed UK citizen does not have the luxury of time to protect themselves against a uniparty government intent on shutting down their freedoms while insisting they accept that anyone who wants to come here for any reason must be allowed in and allowed to stay, whatever they do, and whatever burden it puts on the state. And when I say putting a burden on the state, I mean putting a burden on the ordinary people, the ordinary taxpayers. They're the ones who are paying for it all. They're the ones who have their rights stripped away from them so that everybody else benefits. And this gets worse by the month. At the end of the day, and this is the important point, a critical moment will be reached when those voters make their choice. They're not going to hang about. They're going to make their choice. And at present, that choice looks like it will be Reform UK. The voters know that flip-flopping about at the last moment will get them absolutely nowhere. They will, therefore, coalesce behind the largest offering as the general election looms closer. Now, I'm not talking a week beforehand. I'm talking well beforehand. Couple of years, at least. They're going to stick with it. They're going to say, no, I'm not listening to anyone else. This is the only solution we got. They know that time is not on their side. And they will not forgive those that try to later split the vote. Or not, that's the wrong terminology, who try to come in with a different offering that might split the vote.
Yeah.
If anyone else wants to get in before that critical moment is reached, they will have to act decisively and very soon. In actual fact, having heard what Nigel Farage was talking about, May the 7th being his deadline for anyone who wants to go to his party from other parties, especially the Tories, then I think he set his sights on May the 7th being the turning point, being that very date. If he breaks through massively in those local elections, I think it's game over. No one else will get a look in. Now, I'm watching Rupert Lowe of Restore Britain, Ben Habib of Advance UK, and UKIP's Nick Tanconi, and see that there appears to be a willingness there for some sort of agreement to be reached. But it's not a done deal. I really hope a deal can be reached that will unite the centre-right, or at least most of it, very soon, especially if it brings Tommy Robinson and the Unite the Kingdom movement in behind it. I like and support these people, but time will not forgive them if they get that all wrong, if they leave it if it's too late, if they wait till 2027, 2028, time will not forgive them. So that's the problem I have. Because for me, Nigel Farage's Reform UK looks more intent on hoovering up as many former Tories as it can, just turning the party into the Conservative Party 2.0. And in that form, Reform UK is not going to save the country. Once those former, but still ambitious Tories get into the Reform UK system, you can predict the damage they will do. And how many of them bring lefty-minded baggage with them? And what about this much vaunted former Labour MP crossing the floor to Reform UK next Tuesday, as we keep hearing about? What will that person bring with them? Right of centre thinking? Mass remigration? I don't remember any MPs on the Labour side talking about anything like that. Where is the new blood? Yeah, except for Diane Abbott, yeah.
No,
Where is the new
she's
blood?
The defection. She's going to be the defection. She has to be. That would make my year, that would. Come on, Jeff, let's
Yeah,
face
it would.
If Diana,
Yeah, I
you can
know.
imagine that press conference. Honestly, I would literally pay very good. I'd get into further into debt, I would, just to be able to watch that press conference live, to be there. It would be the funniest thing since I don't know. Yeah. And by the way, one point here as well, Jeff, which has to be made, and that is very simply, the longer that Rupert Lowe doesn't make a decision, if this protracts on for further, this is actually, believe it or not, holding back Advance UK, because it will be holding back any future plans. If Rupert's not going to start a new party, if he's not going to join Advance UK, then basically if his new offering is not to the liking of either Nick Tenconi or Ben Habib, then what's he doing? He's basically going to that would really be splitting the vote. That really would.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, there's only, unless, of course, there's like an amalgamation between Advance and Restore and UKIP, some kind of umbrella name, I don't know. Maybe, I think you mentioned earlier, called Advance and Restore, or Restore and Advance. A pretty good name, actually, for a political party, Restore and Advance. I thought it was very, very well done, Jeff. You definitely picked my ears up earlier, that one did.
Yeah.
My point here, though, is that things need to get going. Advance, whatever it is, it needs to get going. And whilst there's still a question mark over what Rupert Lowe's position is and the future, it will hold back Advance and any forward thinking, any plans. Not by much, but as long as that indecision remains in place. Yes, Jeff.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I like Rupert Lowe. I like Ben Habib. I like Nick Tenconi. I like Tommy Robinson. I like them all. I want to get...
Yeah, absolutely.
I want them to get together. But time is not on their side. 2029 is not actually that far away in political terms. So it takes a long time to shift people's opinions and people's thoughts, get the message out there. It's a hard grind. Remember, it took 20 years plus to get the referendum, didn't it? The EU referendum. Took decades to get that through. So trying to get people shifted in a 6-month window is not going to work. So they've got to get a move on. I'm sorry, but that's my message. Please get a move on. Nothing's ever perfect. Get the general thing going. Push with your general ideas. I like the general ideas that Rupert Lowe comes up with, and that Advance UK comes up with, and Nick Tenker. They all could all fit together. They can all fit together. Doesn't have to be perfect. So anyway, thanks, Brute Life 2314. Yeah. Turkeys don't vote for Christmas. We have time, even though it doesn't feel like it. Do wish Rupert would hurry up, though. See you all on the 7th of Feb. Yeah, the 7th of Feb is the Advance UK's first sort of official policy launch, annual meeting or whatever, and I'll be there. And so would Tommy, I gather. I think he's going to be there as well. So we have time, he says. I'm not sure that we have got the luxury of time.
We assume we have time. That's the thing. We assume we have time. If we're thinking of 2020, it's a very good point, though. Thank you. But I think the point here is we assume that the 2029 will be the next general election, and it could very well not be the next general election. That's the fact of the matter.
Yeah. Grenville Kember says, very few real Brits can afford a passport. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about there.
Exactly.
That's why I let mine lapse.
Right,
That's why I let mine lapse.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. It's can be expensive for some people. I let mine lapse because I couldn't afford it at the time, and I haven't renewed it since. And it's just not been. It's not even been on my radar of renewing because I can't afford to travel abroad. I can't afford to go on travels and holidays and stuff like that. So yeah.
Jeff, when was the last time you went on holidays abroad? Actually, this is a question for you. There you go. Go on.
2002. It was either 2001 or 2002.
Other than a trip to Ireland, I was about 2000. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, 26 years. Other than going to Ireland, that's as far as I've been. Yeah, there we go. Aren't we a sad pair there, Jeff? I tell you what.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And James Jameson says, and thank you very much, Starmer making Red Ed and Lammy ministers is the worst decision since Caligula make his horse a senator. I think Caligula got more out of his horse.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And thank you very much,
I was actually watching
Tracy
that
Kerrigan.
the other day, Caligula. And I watched that the other day.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So my question is that if Reform UK are going to fill everybody up fill up their party with Tories, whether they be failed, successful, or whatever, they are still Tory politicians. Have they been offered MP job? You can stand for MP in these places and all that sort of thing. Where is the new blood coming from? Where is it? I don't actually see much of it. I thought he might be doing something like he did with the Brexit Party when he brought in a lot of unknown people, ex-former military, Jacob Rees-Mogg's sister, if you remember. She's suddenly gone back into obscurity. But, so what we need actually is Restore's idea of having non-politicians, lots of successful businessmen, lots of people who can make a go of things. And, as I've said before, accept that things can't always be perfect. And we need Restore, Advance and UKIP to step up to the mark. Time is now, as far as I'm concerned, too short for delays. I'm sorry, Rupert, but we can't avoid this much longer, even if you have to say, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to firm this up in the next couple of months. That would get things kicked off. So, I don't know. It maybe something's coming. Someone said on here that they thought that we were going to make a big announcement. Sorry, no, we're not making a big announcement.
No,
the announcement we're making is please get a rush on. Please get, as Sobil says, we can't have another 3 years of that. Yes.
No. And here's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, if something is not cohesively put together, then, as you said earlier, Jeff, the only option for people to prevent Labour or the Greens getting into power, or a Green Labour coalition. Oh, don't think that couldn't happen. But that's actually quite a probability if the right doesn't sort its act out and doesn't splinter. Because if it does, right now we could be looking at further splits. Because the way that reform's going at the moment, it's basically turned into the Tory Party 2.0. They're going to start hemorrhaging, members and votes. So where are all these people going to go? You're going to start finding people just becoming totally disillusioned with the system, other than Advance UK. Now, Advance UK has got to get itself into shape very quickly, and it is doing so. Let's face it. Ben Habib is doing a fantastic job. He really is. I actually believe, I'm starting to believe, I didn't for a long time, but I am now starting to believe that once this chaos is out the way of whether Rupert Lowe's in, whether there's going to be a unification or not, once that's out the way and the policies are put forward by Ben, there is a chance that the general election could be won. It could be turned around. If there's big enough a push, it's going to need a backer like Elon Musk to come in as well and say, look, is he just playing politics with this country? I don't think he is, and I hope not. I mean, we just hope that there is more to Musk than what some people say there is, but I think that there is the potential that there could be. I don't know, though. Or am I sort of being naive there? Possibly. But, yeah, time is short, Jeff. Time is bloody short.
It is. As Kay Burkett says, we got 3 strong leaders in 3 parties, or 2 parties and a pressure group. A lot of voters would switch if those 3 strong leaders come together. Yeah,
absolutely.
They would. It would be...
it's a dream team.
It would be massive, because I know for a fact, I know from what Tommy said, he would be straight in there backing these people. So it would be something to behold. And it would make May the 16th. Oh, can you imagine Rupert Lowe being there as well? And Ben Habib and Nick Tenconi all talking at that particular event. Yeah. So that would be, yeah.
That would change everything.
Are you all, yeah. Max Hallam says, are you all citizens? Actually, technically, we're all subjects of His Majesty. The only time we were technically citizens was when we were in the European Union, because they made the Queen a citizen as well. So she was no different to the rest of us. And she acted like she was no different from the rest of us, of course.
Just a second, Jeff. Hang on a second. Hang on. That's something worth remembering, that is, actually. Most people probably wouldn't have known that, because in so many ways, the Crown itself became subservient to the EU. That's the long and short of it. The Crown is... I don't remember Her Majesty kicking up much of a fuss about it either. Do you? No.
No. And His Majesty doesn't seem to be of much of a mind of it either. So there you go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Majesty. Richard.
No, Jeff,
can we answer this question?
Oh, Jeff, no, wait. His Majesty doesn't believe in borders. There's no border between England and France. Must be remembered, because that way we can just invite all our friends through, and we can leave as well. We can go to live in, say, I don't know, some other country, and whilst they come in here, and we sort of swap where we live. Get on with it, Jeff.
Yes, Day 1S says, how many shekels do you get to the pound, Jeff? Haven't got a ruddy clue, because no one's paying us anything based in shekels anyway. If they were, I'd probably have been to Israel in the recent past, wouldn't I, to go and collect them and bring them in by the bag load.
It's just...
There you go.
Yeah. But God bless these people who think we are stooges for Israel and we are paid by Israel. I mean, wow. There we go.
Yes. Now VC asks, or VCS69, is Rupert waiting for the leadership of Reform to change in order to rejoin? I don't think so, because the next possible leader will be, I don't know, Zia Yusuf, the person who basically tried to get him arrested, got his guns confiscated, made loads of accusations, none of which came to fruition, all just got dropped. And you think that someone like Rupert Lowe should just say, oh, okay, I forgive you. No, I don't think that's ever going to happen somehow.
No. Why? I mean, Rupert Lowe himself has said we don't need, in a tweet, I believe it was yesterday or day before, I might be paraphrasing him here. We don't need another rebranded Conservative Party. So why would you want to join and rebrand a rebranded Conservative Party? It's done. It's over. The only thing that's going right now that's worth joining is, I would say, not that I'm against UKIP itself, but I would say is Advance UK, because it doesn't have the hang-ups and the baggage in the perception of a lot of the public's mind to what UKIP was. To many people, UKIP is a spent force. They don't want to think of it being anything else other than what it was. And I think this might have been one of the problems that Nick Tenconi's discovered, even though he's taken it in a very, very different direction now. And he's begun to make it his own, and all credit to him. But I don't know.
Have you seen the new logo? Has everybody seen the new logo?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
No. Have I got the new logo? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. People are talking about it being an Iron Cross, okay? Now, I was in a church the other day. Actually, do you know what, Jeff? I'll see if I can... No, I'm not going to send it to you.
No, I've got it here.
The other day. Well, the church... 2 seconds, Jeff. 2 seconds. I was in a church 2 or 3 days ago, okay? And in there was a 9th, I think it was 9th, 10th century relief in there, stone relief, okay? And in that, it had a cross, which is just like the Maltese cross. It looks like it's the same cross as the Victoria Cross. It's the same cross that's on the on Her Majesty's crown, whatever. And it also happens to look like the old German cross. No, not the Nazi symbol, but the German cross, okay, of World War I and prior. It's a Christian symbol, okay? So it's that. And that has got people in such an uproar. But I was looking at this. I've got to put this across. I mean, it was quite a remarkable thing. There you go. There you go. I mean, and I think that spear, I'm not sure if that's representing the spear of destiny or the spear that pierced Christ. It is, yeah. I mean, I look at that and I can see why some people say, well, it's got connotations of Germany, possibly, but then Germany was part of Christendom. I know a lot of this uproar, I actually really like the fact that this logo has caused an uproar, because it shows that people, when they see an image like that, are so disconnected historically from our ancient Christian symbology and the historical usage of such things, that they look at that and they think, oh, Nazis. I mean, I look at that, that's not a Nazi symbol. That is not a Nazi symbol. It isn't, okay? Connotations to Germany? Possibly, potentially, yes. It looks like something that the Germans wore in World War I, but no, it is not. As I said, I was looking at this cross in the church. I'm going to find this thing. I'm going to send it over to you now. Hang on, I'll upload it. You carry on there a second, Jeff, because I want people to see this.
Yeah, okay. I'll take that one out. Yeah. So, I mean, people are talking. I mean, Against Animal says Reform UK is a retirement home for Tories. Meanwhile, their leader is jetting off to Davos. Yeah, as we said in a previous live stream or a video, I can't remember exactly where we said it. He's off to Davos, having previously said he wants nothing to do with it, basically. And my worry is that as soon as you turn up and start engaging with these people, they then start talking to you, don't they? Very nicely, telling you how they can help you. And then you're then on trying to disengage, but you can't. You're engaged. So it's very difficult for that sort of thing to go ahead. Or just as a reminder, all these people, these MPs going across to Reform UK, back in the day when Nigel Farage led UKIP, well, I'll let you tell you in his own words. Just listen to this about people crossing the floor.
13 and 14, I had several Conservative members of Parliament who wanted to defect and sit as UKIP. I said to all of them, the only acceptable way you can do that is to resign your seat and hold a by-election. And two of them, Douglas Carswell and Mark Reckless, did exactly that, and indeed went on to win the by-elections. For the others, I said, it's no go, it's not right, it is dishonourable. And this really is the dishonourable member for Bury South, Christian Wakeford. It is a complete insult to voters for MPs to have the arrogance to think that it's them they voted for, when the truth is most of us vote for or against the main party leaders. And it amazed me that Boris Johnson, in response, didn't even ask for the man to put himself forward for a by-election. You see, the truth, folks, is they're nearly all, not all, but nearly all, career politicians. You, the voters, are just useful to them once every few years. It's all about them. It is, I think, today, a disgraceful episode.
So, there you go. Talking about people moving across and engaging in by-elections. And he was very harsh. I remember, because I campaigned for both Douglas Carswell and for Mark Reckless, went to their constituencies and dropped leaflets for them for UKIP at the time. Helped get them voted in. But that seems now not to be the flavour of the month. But there again, you see, nowadays, I've got to make the point, no one does it anyway. In fact, UKIP at the time were the outliers. Everyone else would have just moved across the floor, taken the money and the expenses and sat across in another seat. So there you go. Anyway, which image do you want me to put up first, Richard?
Either will do, either.
Right, okay. This is the crosses. We're going back to the crosses, the UKIP style crosses, whatever you want to call them. There you go.
There you go. That is a very ancient cross. I believe that is 9th century, okay? From 9th or 10th century. It is called I think it's called the Llanfynach cross, it is. And so when people start talking about the symbology and saying, "Oh, hang on, this is linked with Germany," no, this is a great and long and historical tradition of that cross. If you could show the next cross as well, please, Jeff. That was on the same relief.
Yep.
Yes, it says Maltese cross here. It does. It's exactly like a Maltese cross, very similar as well. But here you can see that's more to the point. That one, which is also on the stone relief, and this has been, what can I say? This has been around 1,000 years. These symbols have been used. So when people say, "Oh no, it's just a German cross," sorry, you don't know what you're talking about, and say it's a Nazi symbol. No, I get. It looks like it, yes. A window looks like a window as well. A window in Wales looks like a window in Germany, funny enough. Also, it looks like a window in New Zealand and in Australia and in China. A window, ladies and gentlemen, is a window.
Okay. There you go. So Pom says Labour, Lib Dems and Greens will unite for a general election. So if the right doesn't unite, the end will be swift. And that could well be right. Yeah. Yes, Kay Burkitt, that could actually happen, but you never know. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me. Alan Pearce changed the name to Recycled. Well, there you go. Recycled Tories.
Yeah, closer to the point, yeah.
Here's a good... Leslie Manning says, does anyone belong to the Knights Templar? Sorry, I don't, but some people might.
No,
I don't know anyone.
They wouldn't have me in there.
I don't think I know.
Nobody...
I don't think anyone... I don't know anyone who is, so, yeah.
I do, yeah. What... Are the Knights Templar today what the Knights Templar were? There's so many different factions of what is a Knight, what quantifies a Knights Templar. Incidentally, that cross predates the usage of the cross by the Order of St. John as well, the cross which I showed earlier. So that gives a bit of historical context. So a lot of the symbology which we associate with Knights Templar, with Germany, etc. Let's go back, take a little look at the symbology origins, and you'll find a very different story. That's something that has to be remembered. Sorry to be a bit pinicky here. What pinicky? Is there such a word as pinicky?
Pinickety.
There is now, anyway. So, pinickety. That's the one, Jeff. Thank you. Sorry to be so pinickety,
yes.
But these things do matter, especially when people are calling out Nick Tenconi for being a Nazi. It's like because of the choice of cross. Oh, look, he's a fascist. I'm like, shut up. Just shut up. Please. Listen to what the man's got to say.
Yes. Brute Life says, Farage goes to EU. You're not laughing now, are you? Farage goes to WEF. Please, sir, let me join your club. Career politician at its finest. Snake. Yeah, I do have to question why he's going there. But, yeah.
We have to, at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, for balance, reserve judgment. He might be going there. He might not be going there. I mean, this is just what the FT, and I believe the Guardian also reported that he's going there. But if he goes there, he could be going there to kick up a stink with Donald Trump to face them all off. And yes, I comment here by Peter Wilson. Hi, Jeff. Good to see you both. Hi, Peter Wilson. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before. I have mentioned it in a live stream before. But if your surname is Wilson, there's a good chance I'm related to you if you come from the Bury St. Edmunds area. There you go. Not that you care.
All right, here's a good one. There's a name we forgot. If Tommy, Nick Tenconi, Ben Habib, Rupert Lowe unite and tempt in Andrew Bridgen, I would vote for them. We see what needs to be done, so why can't they? I think they do. Maybe it's just terms, or maybe it's just difference of opinion on how we get there. But the trouble is that we've got to get there. Even if it takes 5 different paths, we've got to get there. This country is descending into...
Well, these are all people who have proven themselves. All of them have proven themselves. Tommy has proven himself time and time again. He has proven himself willing to lay down his life for his country. Because don't forget, he didn't have to come back the last time he went to prison. He didn't have to come back. and he was facing solitary confinement, potentially death inside. It's a very dangerous place for him to be. And Nick Tenconi, again, a man who has put his money where his mouth is, and he's walked the streets, he's been in quite serious situations. He's been out to France, and then you've got Ben Habib, who has basically selflessly set up a party practically for another man to take over. That's what he did. It from what if I'm not mistaken, from what he's saying, and yet prepared to do whatever it takes to ensure that Britain is returned to its former glory, and at least to stop it descending into hell. And then you've got, of course, Andrew Bridgen. I mean, my goodness, that man, what he has sacrificed to this country is, well, it's unfathomable, really. It really is. He has done a hell of a lot for this country. He put his neck on the line, his reputation. He was a laughing stock in many circles in this country, amongst the elites and the media classes. Yet to most of us Brits, he remained a hero. He saved a lot of children's lives, that man has. One day, he'll be like that, what was it, Nicholas Winton, wasn't it? Where he stood up on That's Life. And they said, how many people here are alive because of you, Sir Nicholas Winton? And just the entire audience stood up. It'll be the same one day with Andrew Bridgen, for the amount of children's lives that man saved, preventing them from having something that probably isn't very safe and effective. We'll just say that. Have to be careful with my terminology and what I say. And of course, finally, Rupert Lowe, another man who has proven himself to be the most effective MP, I'd say, in the history of this country. My goodness, what he has achieved whilst being an independent MP. He's done more than Reform have done collectively, and more than the Tory party have done, actually, and Reform collectively in opposition. Surprising. Yes, if all those people come together, you have a force. Farage doesn't stand a chance, I believe, at that point, providing the right backers in place with Elon Musk. Yeah. Jeff.
Yeah, and don't forget that I've just been on Rupert Lowe's X post just to make sure we haven't missed an announcement. Sorry, there's nothing there. Except that 2 weeks today, the groomer inquiry hearings start. Okay, that's Rupert Lowe's. That's the one he set up. The hearings start. And that's going to tell us a lot about, basically, because it's an unofficial inquiry, they can't make people turn up, but it'll tell us a lot about who does turn up and who doesn't and what's said. Yeah? And also, just think about this, if a lot of claims are made, that is going to elicit claims that those who have statements made against them in these hearings should sue. Yeah? Because that's what they do, isn't it? Oh, you've got to sue for defamation. I wonder how many of them will. Or will they just scuttle off? Will it actually lead to some people deciding that this country is now too hot for them? Who knows? Interesting times. So, that's on there. Oh, and Rupert Lowe does point out that a whistleblower has sent him an internal civil service job advert from the Cabinet Office, head of trans policy, between 57 and 68,000 a year, with pension, job grade 7, permanent contract, in the office for
where do I apply?
And opportunity. Yes.
I am going to apply for that one, Jeff. I mean, I'm a bit skint at the moment, so times are rough, What has to be done has to be done. It's all for the good of the people, and diversity is our strength. Don't forget. Yes, yes, I can do it.
As John Johnson says,
I got a wig.
I like this.
It's my wig.
Yeah. I like this one from John Johnson. Reform is a donkey sanctuary for aged conservatives just to live out their twilight years. Give generously. Donkey lives matter. Yes, they're donkeys, aren't they? Excellent. I'm just looking through some of the comments. Yeah, Wef Charlie wouldn't wipe his feet on most of us. Yeah, that's probably... Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this is a big point. Put UK First says, our complacency has allowed a corrupt anti-British extremist uniparty that pretends to be a parliament to take control of our country. Yes, it has. I keep saying it. We outsourced all our political thinking to the Labour Party and the Conservative Party. They were quite happy just to say, don't think about anything. We've done all the political thinking for you. We're clever where politics is concerned. Just leave it to us. Oh, and by the way, the only way to save the NHS is to vote for us. That was the entirety of all of their offering. Those two things. We know best and we'll save the NHS. That's it. If you strip those two things away, they haven't said anything meaningful for 50 years. There you go.
Sorry, Jeff. I just want to come on to something quite serious here in the
What?
In the Daily Mail. Yes, in the Daily Mail.
In the Daily Mail?
An imam who carried out forced marriage between two young... I'm not going to say the word on here. Youngsters, we'll say. Probably below the height of about 2 foot. Can't be certain now. An imam who admitted the forced marriage of two underage has avoided jail and instead been given a suspended prison sentence. Ashraf Ossamani, 52, said he was unaware of a change to the law when he conducted a nikah ceremony for... Oh, no, sorry. There were two 16-year-olds. Yeah, okay. A court heard he believed that he was helping the youngsters who were touring mosques seeking to marry helping them to have relations of a certain nature without committing the sin of fornication. But sentencing him to 15 weeks in custody, suspended for a year, Mr. Justice Akhlaq Chowdhury described his approach as negligent. So Mr. Justice Akhlaq Chowdhury didn't sentence this. He didn't get a custodial sentence, prison sentence for Mr. Ashraf Ossamani. Okay, and that was and that's in Britain, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going on here right now. So I was told that they were, yes. So we are told that they were 16. Okay. Yeah. So I just find the whole thing a little bit distasteful, to say the least. There we go, Jeff. Yeah. We know where this is going.
Yeah. Someone's just said, thank you very much to Spans 1964. Tice turning up at the Iran rally with Maya Tusi. What are your thoughts? I didn't know about that. I've just been checking up.
Yes.
And there is a report from where is this? From 27 minutes ago? Richard Tice joined the anti-Islamic Republic protest in London yesterday.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Richard, on that one? Seeing as you know about it and I hadn't noticed it, I miss a lot of things, you know.
Well, I mean, well done, Richard. It's not, look, I'm not his biggest fan. He's almost certainly not my biggest fan. Apparently, he's a nice chap, though. Maya Tusi said he's a very personable, lovely person and all that. I don't know. I don't know these people. I will only, say about people that I know enough about. Maybe sometimes. Not always. Maybe not at all, actually. But what do I think about him turning up? Well done to Richard. There's plenty of people who aren't turning up to these events. I mean, it's like this. There's selective outrage, selective anger at what goes on in the Middle East when it comes to human rights. I'm hearing reports that it's not just 12,000 people who were killed in Iran by the Iranian regime, but we could be looking at tens of thousands. Now, enough people are out in the streets saying, was it 60, whatever, 1,000 people have died since in Gaza since October the 7th, the hideous October 7th massacre. Yet, in less than 48 hours, half that amount have died in Iran by the regime that actually funded Hamas, that funded what has gone on in Gaza, funded the attack of October 7th. Nobody's speaking out against that. Because all those people who were there, waving the flag saying, "Flee Palestine," all those people, they have to then reconcile with themselves the fact that an organisation which they sort of de facto supported, and let's not beat around the bush, they have de facto supported Hamas and the Palestinian authorities and given them legitimacy in many respects with their actions. That those organisations were funded by the IRGC, by the Iranian regime, I should say. And it just doesn't add up for them, does it? They've got to then accept that they are supporting a side that is now committing worse massacres than the ones that they were previously rallying against in Gaza. It's just sickening, Jeff. But well done to Richard for turning up.
At the end of the day, the anti-Semites who hide behind the badge of anti-Zionism, they are in a panicky mess over the imminent prospect of the Hamas, Hezbollah and Houthi funding hardline Islamist Iranian regime falling. When that falls apart, so does the funding for Hamas and the pro-Pali lot. The last thing these so-called anti-Zionists want is that terrorist funding regime to be replaced with an Israel-friendly, Jew-friendly Iran or Persia. That would never do for them. If this atrocious Iranian regime fell, who would be left to fund the anti-Semitic terrorists? Qatar? The United Nations? How could the Zionists be driven out of this mythical Palestine if the Iranian regime wasn't there secretly building its nuclear arsenal to attack Israel with, and the UK and the US? And as the Iranian funding came to an abrupt halt, what would happen to all the Hamas dosh salted away in Qatari banks and controlled by the upper echelons of its hierarchy? Would anyone ever see that money again? And more importantly, for the pro-Pali Marxist in places like the UK, where would the funding come from? To pay for their propaganda, their leaflets, their placards and posters? Where would the money come from to transport their activists' arses about the country and pay them to agitate at weekends in London? If the Iranian regime is smashed, then its global dreams die with it, and I doubt anyone else will be in a rush to fill the vacuum. In fact, the best outcome will be if democracy and peace filled that vacuum and the terrorists and agitators were consigned to the dustbin of history. Anyway, thank you, Brute Life. No matter what the A-team turns out to be, we all need to increase voter turnout. Yes, we do. 60 to 70% is not enough. If we all voted, this country would be based. Yes, it would. And most of the problems come from this chasing of, the marginal seats and all this sort of thing. And the rest, and people who live in areas where there's, such an overwhelming majority for one of the other parties are just totally discouraged from voting. My message would be vote anyway. Vote for what you want. Just cast your vote. It sends a message. And actually, in some of these safe seats, you might find it's not quite so safe if everybody got out and voted. You might suddenly find that all the areas that thought it was beyond them, all added together, suddenly turned the tables or made it very close and made people sit up and take notice of them. But they won't take notice of people who don't vote. And thank you, A. Fenner. We just don't need to rebuild our political system. Its court system. Those judges are so out of touch as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
yes.
The court system is part of the whole thing. You know, at the end of the day, they are civil servants. We're independent judiciary. Yeah, you get paid by us, the taxpayer, and then you go about doing your job to make sure that we are the last ones that benefit from any of this. You send people out with virtually no sentences at all, unless they tweeted some right-wing stuff, and then they must go to prison for years, mustn't they? No, it's even the judiciary is not really on our side. So anyway,
I mean, yeah, Rosemary here, 826OT. Rosemary says here, vote for who, don't trust any of them. It's so difficult right now. I totally get where you're coming from. It's so difficult to trust anyone when things are not moving in a linear fashion the way you'd expect it to for people that you trust. Now, I understand that there are constraints and stuff going on in the background, but I think what you're saying sums up the way a lot of us are feeling right now, and hence the purpose of us doing this live stream today, is that all of us, we just had enough. We are disillusioned with everything that's going on. Please, we need a full unification of the right. We need Ben Habib, we need Rupert Lowe, we need Nick Tenconi and Andrew Bridgen and a host of others, and Tommy, just to come together and represent the people of this country. Because if this doesn't happen, I think we all know where this is going. We know what the other outcome will be, and it's not going to be pretty, and it's not what I want. That reminds me, Jeff, by the way, on something that I was watching last night, a fantastic interview between Douglas Murray. He was on the New Culture Forum with Emma Trimble.
Right, yeah.
And in it, the subject matter of civil war was raised, and Douglas Murray was asked what he thought about civil war, and he said, well, there's a lot of talk on civil war, but he said you have to wonder if some of the people who talk about civil war a lot actually want civil war. I'm paraphrasing here what he said, and I may be completely wrong, and I thought that's a good point, but I think it did miss a lot of the nuance. A lot of people there's a third option here, because it's like nobody wants civil war, okay, if you've got half a brain, right? You don't want civil war. You don't want people to die. You don't want your family to potentially end up getting harmed because of what will happen in your country, okay? However, here's the thing. If you can see something coming down the line and you don't talk about it, and when you can see this thing coming and you know that it's the only reaction that people might have left if democracy fails, then you have to ask yourself, how do you emotionally respond to civil war if it comes? How does a person emotionally respond to it? If politics has failed this nation completely, how do you respond to it? I'm still of the opinion that I don't want civil war, okay? How do I emotionally feel about a civil war coming? Absolute dread and horror. But at the same time, I can understand why people would see it almost as well, if it's to be done, let it be done, and be done quickly and out the bloody way. Because the question here that has to be raised, so Britain, does it die slowly through inaction by our politicians? Or did it die quickly and sharply via a civil war? Whatever happens, things are not looking good. Which is why we so desperately need a unification of the right. And I'm sorry, I have to say this, there are people out there who are definitely splitting the right. And no, it's not the likes of Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe. No. There are other people out there who are pushing forward an extremist, we'll call it, version of how Britain should look. And I'm sorry, that will definitely turn away those people who are just on the outside thinking, oh, should I vote for Rupert Lowe? Should I vote, for Ben Habib? Or all of a sudden, oh, hang on. What if they're affiliated with this other individual? I won't even name him right now. I don't like naming him.
No.
Who is pushing this other more serious agenda? I don't know, Jeff.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. We have to be careful where we're going. If the centre right doesn't get together and sort this country out, it will fall apart. It will tear itself apart. And I'll just give you, I was talking to Richard earlier about this, I'll just give you an example. There are fewer Jews than another demographic. They will become targets in any civil war. Yes, because civil wars isn't two sides, it's loads of different sides.
Correct.
All following their own agenda. the Welsh nationalists, the Scottish nationalists, the Irish, the people who want a united Ireland. They'll be fighting for that, not arguing through the. They'll be fighting for it. They'll be fighting across the UK over loads of different issues because we've imported so much conflict. There'll be conflict between, the Indian base and the Pakistani base because of their history. So it's not going to be two sides. It's going to be an absolute bun fight, and not in a nice way. Anyway, Richard, someone's doing your job for you. How many of you hit the like button, says Victor? It would be much appreciated. Help support the channel. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Much welcomed.
Absolutely. Hit that like button indeed. Yeah, thank you, Victor.
Yeah, this is what's going to happen. Labour, Dems and Greens uniting in a classic example of how far they will go to keep the cash and expenses. And more importantly, actually, they are dedicated to the destruction of the UK and the building of a Marxist superstate around the world. They're not interested in the UK. They're not interested in you as a taxpayer. All that is just window dressing. Look at what Rachel Reeves is doing, not what she says. She's destroying agriculture. She's destroying our economy, and so is Ed Miliband. He's destroying our energy base. He's throwing it under the bus because they don't want the UK to be successful, a successful and independent nation. They want everything but that. Look at what they're doing. So there you go. Anyway, I'm going to change tack slightly. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, has seemingly sided with Donald Trump over Greenland by refusing to send Italian troops to the Danish semi-autonomous region. Bloomberg reports that Meloni has offered to be Europe's Greenland mediator with Trump. And she said, "I spoke with Donald Trump a few hours ago. It is important to talk to each other and avoid an escalation." Now, that's a very interesting take, because everybody else in the EU instantly said Orange Man bad. That's it, Orange Man bad. Ah. Oh, and I just want to point this out. Talking about that sort of thing, everyone's giving Grok a hard time, X a hard time, Elon Musk a hard time. We've got to shut down this, that and the other, because of these. But what they forget, it was Sadiq Khan who allowed a giant blimp of Donald Trump in a nappy to be flown over London. Now, is that degrading to Donald Trump?
Yeah.
But that was allowed. That was acceptable, wasn't it? Oh, that's all right, say the lefties. Oh, no, you can't do that with... these sorts of things. Are we saying now that anybody who makes, I can imagine Grok now being filled up with this. Sorry, it'll be filled up with pictures of Donald Trump in a nappy, won't it? It'll just be there, won't it? Yeah.
Oh, that's already happened.
But that's okay. Yeah. That's okay, because Trump's an Orange Man bad, Now,
something interesting though, Jeff, before you carry on.
Yeah.
Before you carry on, Jeff, something that I noticed as well is that a White House spokesman has said that Britain needs to stop arresting Palestine Action protesters. Yes. That's very interesting because, that sort of hits on two levels, that does. Initially, my gut instinct is like, hang on a second, these people are nothing short of terrorists. Yeah. But at the same time, are they committing terrorism? Well, they did actually attack armaments factories in the past, didn't they, Jeff? And aeroplanes, etc. So there is that point. But at the same time, there is the free speech absolutism. And it's a difficult call, that one. It's a very interesting turn of events. I didn't know how to... I can see both sides of the argument, and I hate it when that happens. Not able to take I like things to be, quite... me, Jeff, I'm a bit opinionated. It doesn't happen, I do get a little bit opinionated. But on this one, I was
A
like,
little
yeah,
bit, yes.
See, this is normally your job. You're usually the one who's seeing both sides of things, and I'm like, shut up, Jeff. It's this. Oh, it's that.
Yeah. Richard, because I'm one of these, I sit in the middle, I look at both sides, and I can see an argument on both sides, and I can say, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, I prefer that side. Most people don't like that. They just like, I hate this and I love that. That's what most people do. That's it. There's no middle ground. And Richard keeps giving me a hard time. He says, you can't tell people there's both sides to the same story. They'll hate you
Well,
for
there
it.
isn't.
Both sides will hate you.
But the thing is, yeah, both sides will hate you, and it's true. Because, I mean, both sides hate us anyway. That's the thing, because it's like the far left hate us because we're, apparently we're far right, and the far right hate us because we're far left. You know, we can't win. That's the thing in this game. We can't win. And somewhere along the lines, you have to take a side. But I don't know who to support on that one. I don't know. There we go.
But on this one, you know, as I say, I like Trump and his go-get-'em style, because at least he does make an attempt to go and get 'em. But I do disagree with his free speech czar, Sarah Rogers, that's the name of the woman who did it, on that thing, because she wants the UK to stop arresting those who voice support for the proscribed group Palestine Action, as has been discussed. But she's dead wrong on that. Not arresting them just leads them to think that their violence is therefore morally justified and totally agreed with by the state. If you let them do it, like if you let a group of people march unabated in their thousands through London and shout and scream at the top of the voice for the destruction of another country, then they will believe that your government is behind them and agrees with them. When in this case, they are absolutely right, because I think Keir Starmer would rather like to see Israel fall. But that's just between you, me, and the gatepost. So, yeah. And
agreed.
Judging...
Agreed, Jeff.
But that somewhat
this is it.
Goes for the previous government as well. And
the problem, as I said, is...
Yeah, sorry, Richard,
when it comes
but
to free
from
speech,
what she said...
Free speech absolutism, though, you know, it's a difficult one. Go on, sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, but is there such thing as free speech absolutism?
That's what I was getting on to.
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you're right. This is it. Is free speech? I know we saw a lot of people stand behind this flag of where I'm a free speech absolutist. I'm like, okay. Are you sure on that one? Are you absolutely sure? Are you sure there are some things that you don't find that anything can be said in front of anyone at any time and it's always acceptable? So it's a difficult one. I like to think I'm as close to
it's not difficult, Richard,
as you can be.
Do you realise how many libel judges and lawyers would be out of a job?
Oh, good point,
and if you
Jeff.
went round you could call someone whatever you like. Can you imagine calling them a PDF? You could go around calling everybody a PDF. Everybody.
Yes.
And they couldn't do a thing about it. Is that right?
Yes. That's it. That's a very good point there, Jeff. But
it's the lawyers losing their job, which is the big point.
Well, yeah, But the funny thing, I think, on that whole thing of being able to call people this, that, and the other, if somebody's calling everyone like PDFs everywhere, left, right, and Chelsea, it devalues it. It's like the term racism now. Okay, racism. Somebody says you're a racist. I'm like, oh, okay. You go back, say 6 years or 5-6 years ago, somebody called you a racist. You'd be like, "What do you mean? What are you calling me a racist for? What are you on about?" You know, that's quite an aggressive thing to do, and quite a slur these days. It's like it doesn't work that way anymore.
Yeah. Now, John Dingle says Ed Miliband to dump Labour for Reform UK. Anyone? I don't think I can see that actually happening. Also, the Labour person that's meant to be going across is reportedly, because of what the latest Tory to go across to, what's his name? Rossendale, is it? Can't even remember.
Yes.
Who's just moved it. He said something, it's either him or the previous one who said something along, we're expecting a former Labour MP to come across. Gordon Brown. Tony Blair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did see a comment
and Sadiq
earlier.
Khan eating a pork pie would be funny, says John Dingle. Oh dear me, that would be Yeah. And on that one, did I mention this before? There's been this big push on Twitter to try and get everybody to make it a hate crime for people to eat, for people like us to eat during Ramadan in public, in case a Muslim sees us and gets offended that we're eating during their religious. Yeah. So I've made it I'm going to be eating bacon sandwiches every single day, just because I like bacon sandwiches for no other reason than liking them.
I will not be told what I can eat and when I can eat it. So there's a good point. So the comment here by Billy Bogus 88. Trump isn't helping the Iranians. Well, we're hoping that he is. He said help is coming. He has said that. If he doesn't deliver on that, a lot of people, and myself included, will have a very different view of Donald Trump. You don't get people out on the streets. You don't embolden people, I should say, who are on the streets to carry on fighting for freedom, because they think, oh, help is coming. If we just push over this hurdle, thousands, if not tens of thousands of people have lost their lives because they are prepared to fight against tyranny. And if you think help's on the way, then more people will have gone out there and said, right, let's do it. But if Trump doesn't turn up, we'll see. I mean, he could be maneuvering assets around the globe right now. I have heard that's the situation, and that Trump is very much on the way to help the people of Iran. Let's just hope so. I believe he is. But it is worrying because we're not seeing anything happening just yet. And things have gone a little bit quiet in Iran, and that's quite concerning.
Well, you and I discussed this earlier. The reason it's gone quiet is because the internet's basically been shut down and they're trying to keep it quiet. And a lot of our press are also more on the side of the Palestinian cause, so want this rebellion or this revolution to lose, because they want the funding from the Iranian regime to continue to Hamas, Hezbollah and the Houthis to destroy Israel. That's what they want. So a lot of the press are going to keep this quiet. Now, there was within the last 10, 20 hours or so, the TV stations or media outlets in Iran got hacked, and the Shah was giving speeches, and it was going out to all and sundry. So things aren't as quiet as we think. I read the FT yesterday, and it was talking about it's all over. Basically, not that it's all over, but it's everyone's given up. They've all gone away. They've gone away for the weekend. They left the area. There's no more rioting. All that's left is a burnt-out bus in Tehran, and it's all over. That's what they were trying to sort of lead. But I've seen other things on Twitter which suggests that it's not all over. And also, people were saying... Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like this. You've got to realise, Jeff, you have to realise, we have to realise that people can't be out 24/7 every day of the week out on the streets. It's logistically impossible. People have to, not forgetting so many things have been shut down. ATMs have been shut down. Electricity has been shut down. Communications have been, internet shut down in a country. Those people are now scrabbling around trying to find ways to exist right now before probably going for a secondary push. But yeah, it's a very dark situation. What's happening around this is, I think this is the front line. What's happening in Iran right now is the front line in many respects between good and evil. Vixter says the only way you can win this spiritual battle is to vote with discernment. Listen to your gut. That is the voiceless voice of God. Vote as an individual, not the hive mind. God be with you all. Yes, absolutely. At some point, we do have to start taking absolute responsibility within ourselves. I was watching an interview with Ben Habib the other day and said, the days of just voting for something purely tactically might be over, because you have to vote for what you believe in. If you're not voting for what you believe in, then you as an individual are not actually going to be true to yourself. And if you can't be true to yourself, then what kind of nation are you going to build when you have multiples of people who are not being true to what they believe in their voting habits or in their thoughts and actions? Jeff?
Yeah. Yeah, and on the Iranian situation, there has been talk about Trump having to bow to the thoughts of other leaders in the Middle East, so he can't overstep the mark. But the big one for me was a report I read about the military situation, where he has to get all his assets in the right places at the right time, timed absolutely up to the eyeballs, with weapons ready to launch a massive attack on the IRGC. Knock it out. Take out the entire comms network, take out all their leaders, take out everything. And he can do that, but he's got to have the assets in the right place. And I think that time might be nearing. If there's any more bloodshed, and I believe there is a lot of bloodshed going on in Iran right now, it hasn't stopped. Even if the protesters have gone home, the IRGC are chasing them into their homes.
Correct.
That's what's happening. So be in no doubt it's continuing. And I've read some rather harrowing stories. Have you heard of bullet money? You have to pay the people that killed your daughter or your son so that you can go to the right hospital or the right burial ground to find their remains. You have to pay for it, and there's no guarantee that you get anything out of it. These are the type of people they're dealing with.
Yeah.
That's why we should be totally against them. We should be right behind the ordinary Iranian people. So there you go. Anyway,
well, hang on, Jeff, and I will say that I have to disagree with Rupert Lowe on this, actually, and I don't disagree with Rupert Lowe on many things. He said, I don't think we should be sending anyone into Iran. It's not our problem. Why should we? Under normal circumstances, most wars and conflicts across the globe, I 100% agree with you, Mr. Lowe. On this one, I think not, because I think that the geopolitical situation is... It's almost anchored it's like a pivot point, and that pivot point is Iran and the IRGC. If you remove them, the world instantly becomes safer, and there are less opportunities for wars to break out, and less demand might be placed on British troops in the future. It's one of those ones where it's like this is the last push for freedom for these people. As John MacDonald said here, Iran people fighting for the free world. Yes, they are. They really are. They're fighting on our behalf. I know we've heard it before with people, and I'm not going to go into the full debate about the Ukraine-Russia war. A lot of people saying, look, Ukraine is fighting the war against the Russians. If they don't fight it, then Russia will invade the rest of Europe. And I'm going, no, they won't. No, that's not going to happen. No, I'm sorry. I just do not believe that for a second. But when it comes to the war with Iran, yes, absolutely. This is a very different situation. Sorry, continue, please, Jeff.
Yeah. I just want to point this one out. Tracy M says, "Can we probe Starmer?"
You can if you're Ukrainian.
Yeah. I'm going to say, I thought we'd already done that. I thought that had been done already, but we won't go there.
Yeah.
Just going through the comments here. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me. James Warrington says, we will have to postpone the general election. The country is in such a mess we can't afford the distraction of an election.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yes. Yeah, I can imagine Starmer coming out and saying that, going to the podium. So, ladies and gentlemen, due to the 900 billion black hole we have discovered, we are unable, which will be the cost of the next general election. We are unable to hold a general election this year or any other time soon. Goodbye. I am your leader, Heil Starmer. Keir Starmer's a nice guy. Keir Starmer's a nice guy. That's right. That's what they're all singing. At these United Kingdom rallies, they're all singing that. They're not saying because a wang is actually a foreign word for nice guy. So when they're saying Keir Starmer's a wang, it means Keir Starmer's a nice guy because they're all duff, mate, don't they? Shut up, Starmer. Shut up. Hang on, Lord Viking. You must get a Starmer wig, Richard. Actually, do you know what? I was thinking of getting a full mask and everything. I've got to do this, and I mean, yeah, this has to be done.
Right, I can see me interviewing Keir Starmer on this channel at this rate like that.
Ooh, that would be fun. Oh yeah. Okay, that's the deal. We write, Jeff. Order the Starmer mask. I want a King Charles mask. Anyone else who I do a bloody impression of? I want a Klaus Schwab mask. I wouldn't even get a Klaus Schwab mask. Does such a thing exist? Who else is out there? Oh, and I can do what's his name? Oh, good grief! The
King
former
Charles.
Tory MP. Yeah, we've done him. No. Oh, good grief! What's his name?
Jacob Rees-Mogg.
That's him. Yes, I can do him as well. Yes, and I used to do Terry Wogan, except he's dead. I mean, if you can find an old Terry Wogan mask, I'll have a go at that.
Yes. Okay. As John Dingle says, the IRGC are no better than Hamas, but it's all the same sort of thing. Hardline Islamism. You will do this, or you die, or you get imprisoned, or you get whatever, and it's that sort of thing. And you just look around the UK. Oh, that can never happen here. Really, yeah. So there you go. Someone says hilarious, Richard.
Well, of course.
Of course.
Well, we have to have a bit of fun. It's also bloody serious, this world right now.
Someone says, and another one says, brilliant, Richard, says, can you do Arnold Schwarzenegger? I'll be back.
No, Jeff can. That was rather good then. Jeff, I was impressed with that one. Yeah.
Yes, this is the new edition of Spitting Image. Oh, dear me. Yeah, so we really are. Eschatologically, there may be no election in 2029. I'm not sure about that, but
yes,
who knows?
that is that's the way it does look in many respects. A lot of things seem to be converging on 2029, including what's his name, Ray Kurzweil, that futurist, transhumanist, I should say. Futurist, I don't know, whatever term fits him really. He's converging on 2029 for artificial superintelligence. I think is it artificial general intelligence? Well, the one's not far away from the other within a matter of months anyway. And we're looking at a very different world then. We think we got problems now. Oh, okay. All right then. Yeah. So but this is the thing though, Jeff. No, this conversation has to be had. You know, we're always thinking that our biggest problems are the people coming across the channel at the moment in boats. And don't get me wrong, that's probably one of the greatest challenges this country has faced since, I don't know. I mean, when was the last time there was such a demographic replacement? I think you're talking, good grief, you're going back before the Norman or Saxon invasions. We could be going back into prehistory in terms of quantity of genetic replacement, which is another thing I'd like to talk about at some point, which is not, no, it's not a racist thing. I'm talking about a racial genetic replacement, which has taken place in the past, and it completely kicks away the whole idea of what you might call it, ethno-nationalism. You know, I hate that term. It's just which is a load of nonsense, to be honest with you. But yeah, we've got something pretty hefty heading our way with artificial intelligence, something which will decide all things for us. I know you can all say, I'm not going along with that. Oh, really? Okay. Well, if you want access to your bank account, you're going to. Oh, I'm not doing. It's almost like we've got our heads in the sand. It's like there is this comet sort of like heading towards Earth. Imagine it like that. That's the way to look at this. There's this huge comet coming towards Earth, and we're all sort of looking, what's happening today in the football? Who's playing today in the football? Somebody on Strictly Come Dancing won. Did they? Oh, yes. And are you going to be watching Emmerdale tonight or Coronation Street? Oh, I don't know. And there's that big comet coming towards us. That comet is artificial intelligence. It's terrifying what that thing is going to do to our society and our world. We will no longer have agency over our own lives. This thing will be almost unstoppable. There isn't a weapon that man has made that could stop this thing. And
actually,
on a lighter note,
actually, Richard, you just got to think, if artificial intelligence gets it right, you won't even know. You won't even realise.
What do you mean, if it gets it right? Yeah. That's saying that future tense. What if it got it right generations ago? I mean, we have to then start going into the world of the absurd. Yeah, but why not have these conversations? I mean, you look at prehistory, you look at the pyramids, and you think, how were they built? How were they built? How did that happen? We can't do it today, and we can't do it today. So how did that happen? Was there something clever going around then? I don't know. Over to you, Jeff. Anyway, I am good off on a tangent. I don't care.
Anyway, Lord Viking Live says, everybody says Reform will win the next election, but is it certain? Good question, well asked. I think that they'll keep flying in the polls until a certain point, and then they'll start receding in the polls, and Labour and the Tories will start regaining their old support, which always seems to happen, doesn't it? Have you not noticed how the Uniparty always seems to survive? I've heard during my lifetime so many times when Labour have been wiped out in an election, or Tories, that's it, they're finished. The next thing we know, we're staring at another Tory or Labour Prime Minister. It keeps happening. So the only way that we're going to break that is massive pouring of money into something that's going to change everything and has the wherewithal to run all those meetings, massive letter drops and all the rest of it that gets around that, massive media output. But that's what Labour and the Tories used to have. They're losing it now because of social media, but they're still there, aren't they? They're latching onto it as well. So that's a good point. Oh, look, Richard Inman did an impression of Starmer and was told he sounded like Zippy from Rainbow. Come on, Richard, get your
Are you
get
going
yourself
to do
going
Zippy?
on that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was doing Zippy. Yeah, I can't remember what he sounds like.
There was Bungle. How did Bungle talk? Zippy spoke like that. Zippy did. It was a very, very staccato way of talking. You know, it's a bit like a Dalek. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see the likeness between.
But one impression goes into another, though, Jeff. Just a second. Hang on.
I know.
One impression always goes into another. No, listen now, right? One impression goes into another. The other day, I started doing Jacob Rees-Mogg, and I ended up with Tony Benn. How did those two people merge into one? But they do. It's like, let's see if I can. Hang on. Let's just change of glasses here for Jacob. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to welcome you to the Jacob Rees-Mogg section on GB News, and I'm starting a new career very shortly. I'll be going across to join the Green Party. And after that, I will be then opening up my own vegan restaurant, and also I'll be having doing a crystals shop, which will be like you find in places such as Glastonbury. And I'll be selling all types of crystals, even my uric crystals, my own personal uric crystals will be put together into make a crystal for you all to buy. And I was sort of doing this sort of impression, and I started to, all of a sudden, I started speaking like this all of a sudden. And I found myself, before I knew it, I was actually in Tony Benn. So you can go from Tony Benn to Jacob Rees-Mogg and vice versa very, very quickly. Now, most of you will probably not remember who Tony Benn is, because a lot of you will not be old enough like Jeff and myself to remember him. But there we go. Jeff, what the hell am I doing?
Thank you for that one.
I haven't eaten today. I've had a mouthful of food. I'm tired.
Yes, there we go. Thank you, John Dingle. Reform Conform is becoming the true Uniparty. And also, Conform will be an opportunity for Advance UK. I think they will. But only if we get a wriggle on, only if we can get, the right people in the right support mode, I suppose. We just need Rupert in there. We need Nick Tenconi. We need an agreement there to bring everything together, and it can be done. I'm sure it can be done. It just takes the will and the belief. The belief really is that if we don't, it's finished. It's over. You may as well get your passport out and head somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Earthstick says, say something in Latin. Quintus est in culinia, which is, Quintus is in the dining room. I think I might be wrong in that one, but I think it's what I can vaguely remember. It's the only thing I ever learnt in Latin when I was in school in Cheltenham. Yes. Good old Cheltenham.
Yes. Yes, I see that.
Yes, I can do Sean Connery as well, but I'm not going to. Why can I all do all these different dead people? I can do all these dead people. It's like, I feel. No, I'm not going to say it. No, carry on. I was going to say something. I better not say it.
Yes.
I better not say that.
What?
No, exactly. No, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
John Dingle says that Jacob Rees-Mogg's video about Trump today showed his colours. I haven't seen that one, so I have to look that one up. Presumably he wasn't too taken with him. So easy, isn't it? These people. See, for me, everyone's saying Trump has got as much room on Greenland as he wants. He can have as many bases as he wants, put as many of his troops there as he wants, as long as he pays for the defence of Greenland and the EU and everyone else. At the end of the day, they may be defending themselves, they're also defending the rest of us. And it's costing the US a lot of money. The US taxpayer has to stump up for this. So what we're saying is, so what? So what? So from our point of view, we want him to pay, but then we don't look at from his point of view and say, actually, he wants it, but he wants it paid for partly by us. And I think the only way he sees that happening is if he takes Greenland. I don't know. It's just something to bear in mind. It's all right for us to give Chagos away. Yeah, that's all right. Don't care about the Chagossians. They have no say. We're just going to give Chagos away to Mauritius because we think it's a great idea. Oh, we can't have anyone touching Greenland. Greenland's got nothing to do with us. The Chagos Islands have. Northern Ireland has got something to do with us. But we gave that away to the European Union, and it looks like we're going to give Gibraltar away to the European Union as away in the long term. And don't tell me talks aren't going on with Argentina over the Falkland Islands, because they're all for this. Oh, we got to divest everything. They'll be divesting Kent. So there you go.
Yeah. I quite like this idea
Richard,
of...
do you know any Klingon? Xenomorph says,
no.
do you know any Klingon? No, nor do I.
Yeah. I will try and brush up on my Klingon. I'm a little rusty on that one. Yeah. That point just earlier, though, Jeff, about paying for things. Maybe we can turn this sort of mass immigration problem we've got here into something that maybe it could work for us, actually. Let's be positive here. We've got all these people who've come into this country, and they're not doing the right thing by society. They're taking rather than giving. Well, I'm sure there must be some kind of work that they could do. Legally, of course, not forcing them into, internment camps or slave camps to work for nothing. But, there must be some kind of work that they could do for nothing. For a decent wage and for their board and keep. What's wrong with that? It's all perfectly legal, isn't it? I don't know. I think honestly, it's like you in the United Kingdom, so in Wales, in the United Kingdom, because a lot of foreign people are watching this from abroad, and what many of you will not understand is that in Wales, not just in Wales, actually, in certain parts of England as well, like Cornwall and Devon and the Lake District, there is a problem with second homes. Okay. Now, actually, I've been thinking second homes might not be such a bad idea. Yes, they destroy communities potentially, but what if you tax them? Absolutely tax them. If you own a second home, then you should be paying about, say, I don't know, £100,000 a year. There you go. That would sort the situation out quite quickly, wouldn't it? Except the only problem is then you start entering into what Thatcher calls the thing about socialism, where you start to, you start running out of other people's money eventually. Yeah, funny old situation there, Jeff. But something's not well. We need to start. I do go on about holiday cottages in Wales and the impact it's had on the area, because it outprices locals completely, and you have the Welsh effectively ghettoised into the South Wales valleys, whilst 80% of people who live now or moving into mid Wales and other areas in Wales are from the southeast of England. You think, okay, right then, that's interesting. There we go, Jeff. Oh, but the good point here, sorry. Locals sell second homes to outsiders at inflated prices. That's a very good point, that is, Angela. A very, very good point, because once one person does it, you're not going to sell your house for less, are you? As soon as a trend has started, it only takes about 3 or 4 houses in an area for that to take place, because all of a sudden the valuation of your house goes up. You're not going to say, I only want £150,000. I don't want to be like Gladys next door. She had £500,000 for her house. I'm telling you, she did. She did. But I only want 150,000 for it. Yeah, mine. It's identical house. If anything, my house is worth probably more. But no, it's all right. No. I won't do it.
Yes.
Of course you.
Everybody moans about, we're losing our local sort of ethos, local community spirit, but they'll still sell their house to the highest bidder, whoever it is, when they come in. And at the moment, we've got a situation where the economy is on the downturn. The economy is going. House prices went up. Was it averaged £10,000 this month or something? And you're going to yourself, yep, house prices always go up. Whatever the government does, house prices always go up. They make sure it does because it's the only feel-good factor they can manufacture. There you go.
Yeah, Lord Viking asks, who was that an impression of, Richard? Lol. That was an impression of every other woman in Merthyr Tydfil. over the age of 65.
That means he can never go to Merthyr Tydfil again. But there you go.
I'm going
Fat
there
Cat,
next
thank
week.
you very much. Donald Trump needs a wheelbarrow for his... Yeah, yes. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Because he's doesn't hold back. And John Dingle, thank you very much. 34 military men from 7 countries is not serious. That's effectively what has been sent. I'm not sure. Denmark has sent a few more, but I don't know how many. But this is the whole thing, is that if that's the best we can do, then, it's a joke, really. Trump needs to take Greenland and Canada, otherwise China and Russia might take them. And then it'll all be, if China and Russia do take them, it'll be Trump's fault anyway, wouldn't it? It would all be Trump's fault. Even in 10 years' time, when he's no longer president, it would still all be Trump's fault. Yeah, we all know that. And the one thing for me is si vis pacem bellum. If you want peace, prepare for war. And we haven't been doing that ourselves. Who are we to talk? I still remember people being laid off left, right and Chelsea, ships being laid off, planes being grounded, tanks being... When we brought back the British Army on the Rhine, we just didn't have enough space. It was so big, we didn't have space in the UK for it. The whole thing had to go. We'd built up this massive military machine. We just, peace dividend, don't need it anymore. And now look at us, scrabbling around, worried that other people have got more power than us. What a sorry state of affairs.
So I've really started something.
They'll give Swansea away next, says Daztech. Yeah.
Well, I used to live in Swansea. I have fond memories of Swansea. Well, and some very bad ones. So I've started. Everyone's asking for impersonations, your impressions. And it's like, can I do Trump? I'm sorry, I cannot do Donald Trump. I find him very difficult to do Trump. There was somebody else. There's one last one I will do, and I wonder again. It's like this is a female, by the way. I should say in advance. Okay. So, could you work out exactly which female MP I'm doing an impression of? Are you starting to get an idea? Now, this in particular MP is very good with numbers. I know it's not Rachel Reeves, it's somebody else. Angela Rayner. No, it's not bloody Angela Rayner. God, I tell you, I have to work on that one even more. It's not Angela Rayner.
Even I could tell it was Lisa Nandy.
Ah!
Oh, look at this one.
Yes, it was Diana because...
Yeah, yes. Will Comrade Starmer approve the Chinese embassy? I think he will. But I will ask another question. Do you think these things are all decided and planned for in a few months. Do you think that Chinese embassy has been on the cards since the Tories were in power? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I reckon it's been on the cards for years. I reckon they've been building up for it, and whoever was in power will hand China that embassy and the massive basement with the walls so close to our City of London wires that they can tap in to it and see what's going on. Oh, it's it's hideous what this country's governments have been doing. Because you got to remember, Chagos isn't a Labour thing. That was a Tory thing. They pretended, oh no, we rejected it. What a load of complete rubbish, because the civil service was still just munching it through the works. They never put a stop to it. It just continued. And Labour love decolonisation, don't they? Now, they're all as bad as each other. We get what we vote for, you know. Rubbish. So we need to stop that for a start. Yes. Yes, why should Trump protect us when our government behave the way they do, says Leslie Dorian 3441. And here's another one for you. 1982. Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands. NATO came winging in their way, didn't they? All of them, the European Union, or the EEC as it was, all those NATO countries piling in with their ships, their aeroplanes and their soldiers. Yeah. Yeah. We know what it's all about.
Yeah, sorry, Jeff, can you hear me at all? Yes, you can hear me. I haven't got myself a mute. I've just noticed in a few different newspapers here. It's in the Daily Mail here. ISIS bride Shamima Begum could be free from Syrian detention camp in days as Kurdish-led fighters holding her and thousands of terrorists lose ground to government forces. So the new government forces that so many people in the West, and particularly on the left, were supportive of in Syria, are now freeing so many. The amount of people, videos I've seen on TikTok and on X of ISIS fighters being freed, you're thinking, what on earth? What on earth? I mean, that country is really starting to look very serious, and I wonder how Israel will react in the coming months as things progress, as ISIS fighters seem. It's basically an Islamic it seems like to be not just an Islamic fundamentalist state. We're talking about something even worse than Iran is brewing in Syria, if such a thing is possible. If such a thing is possible. A very scary situation. Now, this doesn't mean that Shamima Begum is going to be allowed back into Britain, but then again, with Keir Starmer as our Prime Minister, it wouldn't surprise me. In fact, I think he's probably already trying to sort her safe passage across here. Yeah. I mean, of course, she could get back into Britain. All she's got to do is get on the bloody dinghy on the beaches in France and just, it's a done deal. She get a taxi ride over from our border forces. Jeff.
Yes. Things are getting interesting at the moment. Things are panning out much like we discussed this years ago. I remember Richard and I discussing this years ago. We were sort of saying that in this country and probably the rest of the world, there will come a time when everybody has only two sides to pick from. And I think we're there, really. And if we do kick off, it will spark much else. It will spark loads of violence elsewhere. But there is a central argument, basically, between good and evil. And that's where we're at. We really are. And I asked a question yesterday. How many people out there in our little community are that mad that they want to control the world and control everything that everyone else does? And most people just said, no, I just want to live my life. I want to have a house. I want to go on holiday. I want to have my children. I want to, go out to the pictures, go to football, go to the pub. That's all I want. But there is a hard core of people out there, very, very small number, who want to control every action you make. Every single little thing you do has to be controlled by them directly. And we have to fight those people off.
Yeah, Jeff,
Yes.
though, this good and evil thing has nothing to do with nationhood. And this is one of the things why I keep coming back to my own personal position of being a Christian nationalist. And that's because it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. It doesn't matter. And the only thing that matters is, or your political leanings, what matters is your position in terms of Christ. That is the most important thing, because that's the root and central point of all morality, and the morality which built Western civilization. And without that, we are basically looking into an abyss again, like we did. I mean, the first abyss that I suppose we looked at really was during the Enlightenment period, the so-called Enlightenment, when we walked away from Christ, and all of a sudden, logic and reason came into play. Okay, that did us well, didn't it? And the natural progression of which then became this nihilistic, satanic nihilistic viewpoint, which sort of came to fruition through Marxism and socialism. Because socialism sounds so good, doesn't it? It sounds so great. It's lovely. Yeah, it's just egalitarian. Yeah, everyone getting all the same. It doesn't work like that. Never has. Show me a successful egalitarian socialist state, please, or communist or left-wing state. Show me one, like a real successful one that has longevity. You won't find it. No, there is a battle between good and evil taking place, Jeff. And that battle between good and evil is centered around something else. It is centered around Christendom. And that's what we need to be re-establishing. And this is why I have sympathy with Nick Tenconi in his in what he has put forward as his sort of red line in the sand for joining any sort of coalition between Advance, Restore and UKIP. And that for him is that the leader has to be a practicing Christian and have belief in Christ. And that the government needs to be centered around Christianity, not constitutionally, not just constitutionally, that's already there, not in terms of heritage. Yes, we know all these things. We know we have a Christian heritage, for goodness sake. No, we need something a little more fundamental. We need the people who will be leading this movement to have conviction in their faith and a genuine one-on-one relationship with Jesus Christ. Doesn't work otherwise, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't. I know many of you are going to disagree. That's okay. Keep disagreeing. It's what we do. It's called a conversation, Jeff.
Yes, and FatCat747 says, can a surgeon amalgamate Habib, Lowe and Tenconi? Yes, actually, there is one. It's called Hablo-Tenk-Stein, as in Frankenstein. What a monster that would create. Yeah, no.
It was a mouthful then, Jeff.
Yeah, it was. I had to think about it. And John Dingle, thank you. Russia or the USA if you had to leave the UK? I don't know. I'm hoping that Iran can sort itself out and become the Persia of old. Then I might go there.
Yes.
That would be interesting.
I think I'd probably be heading to the USA for a number of reasons. But Iran, yeah, as I've said, we're talking about a country that is hopefully in the process of rejecting a certain ideology and rejecting en masse, and it will not be readopted for a very long time. And the people of that country are prepared to fight against it all the way, and the influence that it has. And not just that, it is the Iranian people as well. I had a conversation with my cousin, Hojat, who is Iranian, and he was great conversation we had. And we spoke about a few different things. One of them was how self-sufficient Iran has become, like incredibly self-sufficient, to the point where a lot of the drones that are being used by the Russians at the moment are being actually made by Iran, not by Russia. I was like, oh, that is interesting. You know, when it comes to engineering and technology, it's an incredible nation. The level of sophistication and education in Iran, it's way, for the average person, I would say, way, way, way beyond that of most countries in the West. It puts them to shame. They're incredibly well cultured and incredibly well versed in the classics, especially in poetry and art. I mean, in Iran, poetry's a big thing. It's a real big thing. It's part of the social structure. Their poetry is. We don't have that here. And I love that line that I think I mentioned before in the live show I was watching, when an Iranian woman speaking to her husband, and she said, because they were so committed to each other, just as that line, "Your pain is my pain," and a lot of Iranians are very sort of dramatic. "I'll die for you, I die for you," and all this kind of thing, Yeah. Whereas in this country, it's like, "Oh, you die for me." That's the way it sort of works.
Vic's doing your job for you again, Richard.
Oh, I tell you, I'm going to be out of a job before long, Vicster.
Yeah, get me out of a job, mate.
Subscribe. Please share with us. This channel is a huge wake-up call. God bless Jeff and Richard for their hard work, even through a horrible virus. Oh, it has been horrible. We are coming out the other side of that.
Yeah.
And our love as well to you guys over there. I hope you're all feeling better. Join to help get the truth out. Absolutely. Because there is a virus going around the world right now. And we know that people in America are suffering with it. And we don't know what this virus is. And it keeps coming back. Jeff, you said to me earlier you were starting to feel ill again. Your cough was returning. And it was like, But there we go. Yeah, a lot of people in the comments. Sorry, carry on, Jeff.
That's all right.
No, just a lot of people in the comments are saying Iran. That they would choose Iran. And that's quite interesting. I mean, you have to remember, this is one of the things that we need to keep in our minds. Is we for so long we've looked at Iran, we thought Iranians, they're all extremists, Islamists. No, they're captured and controlled by extremist Islamists. It's almost as if you could imagine, if you want comprehension and perception, true perception of this, and clarity, you have to imagine if somewhere like, I don't know, France, let's not speak of England and Britain, but if France was taken over and became an Islamic fundamentalist regime overnight, how would you view that? Would you say that all the French people are traditionally that way inclined? No, Zoroastrianism, which is having a resurgence in Iran, but not as much as Christianity, which is an incredible thing. But Zoroastrianism is the main original religion of Iran. Quite an interesting religion to study. Obviously I'm a Christian. I'm not going to be saying that you all become Zoroastrian. No, but it does have a good eschatological and similar eschatological outcome as the Christian faith. Sorry, Jeff, carry on.
That's all right. CJ70 says, yep, Rupert Lowe is peeing people off. He is all talk and no action. Now, I wouldn't say he's all talk and no action. He put together his own groomer inquiry, and it starts in 2 weeks' time. He's also, I've watched him in committees. He really takes it to the civil service, asks some pointed questions about in fact, one I recently saw was where he turned on them and said, basically, it's the taxpayers' money and you're just frittering it around. You're just wasting it. Does this not cross your mind? And you could see the sort of nonplussed look on why should they care? Well, why do I care about where the money comes from? I just spend it, So he's definitely one of the good guys.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from.
But he's not peeing people off, rather than we just want him to get a move on with whatever he's calling. He's the central guy. Yeah.
I understand your position because tempers are frayed. People are, we're all just like, oh, come on, just bloody well get on with it. For goodness sake, we've had enough. We need things to progress now. We need, desperately need something on the right to unify us. The country needs to come together. And, we all want the same thing, I think, ladies and gentlemen. Well, not everybody, but most of us.
Well, thank you very much, Three-Stranded Cord. Praying for your healing, Jeff, and all that are under the weather. Yeah, same here. Has been a bit of a... Oh, I like this one. Alan Piers 2. I'm not sure this is the Chinese equivalent of the woke mind virus. Does that mean we're always thinking about Chinese cooking? No, I get where you miss the woke mind virus. Yeah, that's where most of this comes from. Definitely.
Woke. Yeah, totally. Only you could put those two things together there, Jeff.
Yes. Won't go there.
Oh, the old spiky,
Yeah,
I say.
yeah.
No. Can't be mentioning that. No.
This is a good one. Tree Borer says the best name for any right-wing party is staring us in the face. It's the right wing, the right party. And I did send something to Ben Habib a while ago, saying that a good strap. If you want a strap line, it's the right time, the right party, or something like that would be a good strap line. But we'll see whether he uses it or not.
That's a good one. I like that. The right party. Tree Borer, that's brilliant. Well done, mate. Well done.
Yeah. Yes. There you go. So I'm just looking through some more of the comments. Iran invented the flying carpet. Well, there you go. Yeah, three-stranded cords come back with... Yeah. Rupert is a machine. He is actually a bit of a... He's very prolific on Twitter once he gets going. Yeah, and as Matt says, Rupert definitely isn't all talk. And he's actually, people are coming back. Rupert is one of the very few. He's actually doing stuff. Yeah, he is. And more of our politicians need to be taking notice. I remember when he was in Reform UK, he was really going some, and not enough was sort of made of that by the party itself, if I remember rightly. Yeah.
So good one here by Broken Prophet 8007. Grok says Greenland is worth 5 trillion if you believe it. I haven't actually. I'm going to have a little look. I'm going to ask. No. I'll take your word for it. I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You know. 5 trillion. I mean, that's pocket money. That is, yes, pocket money.
What's that in shekels, Richard?
Oh yeah, yes. Let me just check my bank account. Yeah. Oh dear. Sorry,
I'm just looking this up. Sorry, I've got to look this up.
Oh, you carry on. I'll carry on. Yeah. Can Jeff do a dedicated? As a fat cat here. Can Jeff do a dedicated stream about submarines? He pretty much did on the Liam Tuff show. That's if you want to watch Jeff talk about submarines, just watch that video in the Liam Tuff thing. It was a brilliant interview. That was thoroughly enjoyed that. But maybe you should do something on submarines, Jeff.
I only gave a very small portion. Yes. Yeah, Rupert Lowe gave a very good Christmas message. That was good. Yeah, it was a very good message. Oh, sorry, this is... sorry, it was...
That's the one,
Super chat, yeah. Can Jeff do a dedicated stream about submarines? Actually, a better idea would be to bring... Because I left the submarine service in November-ish 2000. In the year 2000, after 26 years. So I'd done 25 years and 10 months, something like that, in the Navy, and ended up there at that date. So I've been out of it now for 25 years. I've spent more time out of the Navy, well, nearly as much time after the Navy as I spent in the Navy now. So everything I know was predicated on analog machinery and old-fashioned technology. You know, we still used, I remember when I left submarines, we had one computer in the wardroom, and that was it. Nowadays, everybody's got their own computer in these places and everything's done by computer. So, yeah.
Yes, back then it was all done with stethoscopes and, Jeff
stethoscopes.
Yes, and toilet rolls put up with a mirror on the top like they used to make on Blue Peter. If you remember Blue Peter, used to make those things. Remember? You should get a few toilet rolls.
You mean periscopes?
Yeah, that's it. Yes, those things. Yes, you can make them on Blue Peter. Who needs a submarine built in yards of Barrow in Furness when you can make it at home with a bit of cardboard, double-sided sticky tape and plasticine. Yeah.
Yes, I was. I must have. I did spend quite a time in Barrow-in-Furness because I was appointed to a submarine that was in build. So I had to go and watch it being built, and had to turn up and had to go and do walkthroughs with it and all sorts of things. And I had to know when I finished. I knew every single valve in that thing. Where it was, what it did. But that was helpful. Oh dear, Fat Cat 747 says. Come on, Jeff, you encountered aliens down there, didn't you? Well.
Oh, tell us more, Jeff.
Yes. Well, I went under the ice. Went under the Arctic ice. Lots of weird noises and weird things to see up there. And we surfaced at the North Pole as well. Right on the North Pole with an American submarine. So those are interesting. We all got out and had a walkabout. We walked about on the ice. Brilliant. Yeah.
I have to say, though, Jeff, you mentioned Barrow-in-Furness, because I've been to Barrow-in-Furness. In fact, my ex-brother-in-law lives there. And I remember going there with my ex-wife. I try not to think of that period of my life, but there we go. And he said, "Oh, would you like a beer each?" I thought, "Oh, that's great, yeah." And he came out with 2 glasses and a small can of Heineken. I was like, "What am I meant to do with that? That's not going to work." Yeah. Okay, what's that? It's a sample, is it? That's a sample of what's to come. Yeah, okay. No.
Oh, right, dear.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, dear. Yeah, indeed. That's my memory of Barrow-in-Furness.
Yeah, Securing the Past, thank you very much, says, totally agree. Your podcast with Liam was so interesting. I think you and Richard should do a dedicated live about the Navy days. Pull up a bollard and I'll spin you a yarn.
Oh, grief.
And
got lines
thank
like
you,
that in it. I don't want to be doing it.
James Hinton Howard 6778, thank you. An American who loves the English or the England. Trump is aware. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he is aware of things. We do forget. It's not like he hasn't got access to the world's predominant satellite system, the world's predominant listening stations, the world's predominant every ship and submarine, is an absolute is covered in aerials and intelligence gathering stuff. It sucks information in as it travels around. So that he's probably the best informed person on the planet with all of that lot. Yeah. So Lord Viking says, this must be the best live ever, guys. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Do you know what? We were thinking to ourselves, right, this is, I don't know, we're going to have a little chat now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a little chat, as they say. Right. Okay. Now then.
That was very Navy sounding.
Good grief, I don't know what Navy you were in, sir. But there we go. Anyway, the thing is, it's like, we thought, should we do like more live streams, more short 20-minute live streams, and because then people get bite-sized chunks, because long live streams can be a bit much. No, what we're going to do is we're going to do a long live stream, and we're probably going to do it, we thought we'd do it at 4:45 today, as opposed to 5:45. We might stick to 4:45 as a regular thing. We don't know yet, but it does help us in many ways. Do a 4:45 live stream, do it for 2 hours, and then if there's going to be a lot of things, little sections in within this video of different topics, because we like to go off topic. What's wrong with that? We're human beings who like to chat. Life isn't just, that compartmentalized rubbish. No, it isn't. It's fluid. We're all fluid. I was fluid once, apparently. I think we were all fluid once, but that's another matter entirely. Okay, I will get off that subject very quickly. But we decided in the end, no, let's do a long live stream. and it's going to have some sections. And for the people who can't be watching all of it, we will chop them up and put them out as videos and do that occasionally, maybe the following day. Just a few little best bits so you can just catch up on that. But the main live stream then will be at 4:45. So anyway, what do you think of that idea? I don't care what you think. We're bloody doing it. Actually, your thoughts and your points of views are irrelevant as our loyal fans. No, we don't
that
care.
Told him, Richard. That told him.
Indeed, it did.
We're following in the footsteps of our glorious leader, Keir Starmer. You will do as you're told. You will receive what we give you.
Yeah. No, to be honest, we're hoping to do some quite interesting things this year. Quite exciting things. So, yeah. We'll.
Rebecca Hicks, thank you very much. Hi, Jeff. Good on you. My dad was in boats. Yeah, because that is the term for a submarine. It's boat. A boat is something you launch from a ship. And when the original submarines, little tiny things with one bloke in them, they were taken out to sea and they were launched from ships, so they became boats. And when they became larger and nuclear powered, it just stuck with the term boat. So submarines, however big they are, however nuclear armed with world destroy, they're still just boats and not ships. So there you go. And he was a chef, and boatmen are the best. Now, I will tell you, chefs on submarines are fantastic. The storage for food is rather difficult, and they're always in and out of these stores, and it's rather like a rabbit warren trying to get the right things out at the right time. And I still remember they were still able to cook for about 90 people on a Saturday evening, a steak to order for everyone. And then I walked into one place, one submarine, and right there was this wonderful cake. And I said, where'd that come from? You said, we made that for the competition. Yeah, they have chef competitions. And there was one examination back then that no one could ever pass, and that was one of the chef's exams. No one ever got 100%. They all failed it, every single one, because the highest they could get was 99, because they'd always fail on something, and it was that tough. And I remember it. So I've got a great respect for Navy chefs. They really do pull out some really good stuff. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, we'll always have a moan, but at the end of the day, it was very good. And a lot of people got rather
I can
fat
tell
on
you. I can tell you now. I worked in the film and television industry for a while, various different roles. And I even worked in the kitchens there as well, on various productions. I can tell you now, the people in the kitchens, I mean, you might have a crew of, say, about 150 people to feed for lunchtime, and you were doing it out of the back of a small trailer. This was quite in all sorts of weathers and conditions. And honestly, they're the hardest working people in the film and television industry, the catering staff, by far, but by a long shot. Sorry, Lord Viking Live says here, soon Jeff and Richard, Netflix will come knocking. We are going to get a production value greater than Netflix's, damn it. We are going. And do you know what the funny thing is? Anything can be done. Where there's a will, there's a way. Anything can be done. We can do it. Anyway, Jeff, it's...
sorry, I've just got to catch up. I've just been back on Rupert Lowe's X profile.
Oh, right.
And there are nothing about this, but 12 minutes ago, he said he's confronting the civil servants with documents they have entirely redacted, which hide from the public the services being provided to illegal migrants in hotels and just how much it costs the British taxpayer. So, he's doing his digging. He's finding out the stuff that matters and where this money's going. And he also said, I just questioned some of the most senior civil servants in government on how our money is being wasted on housing illegal migrants, thousands and thousands of them, all with details entirely concealed from the taxpayer. I was not happy with the answer, he says. Nor am I. So I'm going to have to look at that.
Well, here's something. With all this in mind, Jeff, maybe that's one of the reasons we're not hearing any great announcements at the moment. It sounds like he's got his bloody hands full. He's a busy man. Yeah. But at the same time, we do need something. Look, just delegate, Rupert. Delegate. Get somebody else to sort out your joining together of a new political party. You're joining with Advance and amalgamation potentially with Restore. There's so much that the people of this country are... we need it. We're in a desperate situation, we are. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the stream. I think this has been our longest chat we've had together, Jeff. And
yes.
There we go. So I'd just like to quickly say, I hope you've pressed the like button. I mean, you've had plenty of warnings and opportunities if you haven't already. Yes. Oh, hang on. What's Lord Viking say? Yeah, hit the lights. Yes, the like button. That's right. Yes, like button. Yes, click that. And also subscribe to the channel, because according to the metrics for most YouTube channels, most of you who are watching this video are not actually subscribed to the channel. And if you subscribe to the channel, it helps us enormously. Yes, and it bloody well does. So if you could please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and click the bloody all option. There's a bell that says all. Click it. Then you get notified each time we put up a new video. And also, for the full creme de la creme, the absolute... what's his name? Nietzsche used to say, Ubermensch, the supermen and superwomen amongst you. Become a channel member, because there's a join button. You click that for the price of a pint of beer in a London pub, or a slice of cake in Pontylynnfraith. You can be a channel member. Occasionally we put out extra content, but it helps the channel and helps keep it going. And God bless you all. And over to you, Jeff.
Yeah, and it's been great to engage with you all. As Richard said, we thought we'd just have a chat, just get chatting and get talking, and see what people have got to say. And it's been a great fun. We're going to do more of these, obviously. And the timing is yet to be decided, 4:45, if we're going to go on for a couple of hours. Because at the end of the day, I need my beauty sleep and I have to be in bed soon. And on that note, I'll say it's goodbye from me.
And it is goodbye from him. That man there, the living legend that is Mr. Jeffrey Taylor. Goodbye, and see you tomorrow.